through storms, unshaken, unbowed. Through trials and verdicts, still standing proud. A titan in the tempest, against the raging crowd. He's got a vision for the future, gonna shout it loud. Changing the wind, it's coming fast. A new foundation built to last. Cryptocurrency's the key, make the big switch. Power to the people, time to teach the rich. Legal battles can't hold him.
Welcome, everyone, to the Crazy Cryptonaut channel. I am Zester, and I hope you're all having an awesome start to your Trump day. My apologies to all for the very, very bright screen behind me, or the very, very bright background today. I have been, it's been quite an ordeal getting all set up over here and getting everything running for work and for being able to do these live streams. And I've still got a new camera, an upgrade of a camera that I'm actually planning on getting installed very, very soon. And so rather than trying and program this camera to convince it to not have a very hard time with the brightness behind me, I'm going to put that effort into the upgrade camera. And so don't worry. I think this will be the only stream where it's so bright. It seems as if the issue is actually being caused by me being here. And so if I move out of the way, it seems to start to improve. But I don't know. I have not figured it out entirely yet. But how is everyone doing? Enough about my stuff. How are y'all doing? What's up, Mile High? Trish, how are you this fine Trump day? Good morning, Kukla. Yes. Can't wait to see Zester's new studio. I do love my catios, and there are actually two more coming. So I will have all three cats behind me lounging in their cat hammocks. Tommy will never leave his cat hammock. And so the other kitty cats don't get much of an opportunity to sit there because Tommy won't leave. Tommy only leaves his cat hammock to go to the bathroom or to go eat or get water. It's the only reason he will leave. Otherwise, you'll find him there from sunup to sundown. Hey, good morning, musical lady. Number 3 on the like button. Thank you so much, musical lady. Yes, the new debut location today. The new debut location. Still not done. Compliments of all my struggle with internet problems, but it's pretty close. Yeah, musical lady, are you doing the mining? Oh, musical lady, I haven't, unfortunately, so busy lately in regards to health. Oh, prayers for you, musical lady. Absolutely. Health comes first. You were kind of close there, Kukla. I do have not a cat walk, but a lot of cat areas going up. All right. Barbara McGee, I really need to get on the ball with crypto. I've been putting it off, but now it's time. Well, welcome, Barbara. You came to the right place. And it's never too late to start off on the journey. It's very daunting at first, but I promise we make it as easy as we can over here, Barbara. So happy to have you, and ask questions. That's the best way to go about it, because any question you have, someone else has the same question, Barbara. And that's what's great about getting together and doing it like this, because essentially one person asks a question, maybe that question gets asked often, but undoubtedly there are 20 other people, 100 other people who had the same question, or maybe needed that information and didn't even know that they had the question. So welcome, Barbara. You're in the right place. We got you. Barbara, he comes from great genes too. Gonna get me canceled, Barbara. Gonna get me canceled. Barbara, I have a book coming today from Amazon with beginner, XRP, Ripple, and ISO. Very, very nice, Barbara. And actually, you're getting it just in time, because ISO messaging standards go into effect November 22nd. A mere 10 days from today, ISO standards are actually going to be required by federal law. This is a big difference than them being on the docket, it being a standard that wasn't actually being adhered to yet. Now, starting November 22nd, banks have to adhere to the ISO standard. And that's going to be very important for the different cryptocurrencies that the banks are partnering with. Should give our XRP, our Stellar and such quite the advantage when it comes to getting those big partnership deals with all the major banking institutions. So no. I am glad to hear that, Barbara. Good morning, Mary Jones. Good morning. RK, how do I sell XRP on Coinbase and get my money from Coinbase? It is kicking my butt. Thank you. RK. All right. Well, on that one, and so RK, I'm going to make an assumption. You've already got a bank account connected to your Coinbase, and that's going to be an important step. And so RK, you're going to need to make certain that you have a bank account, you have a destination for that money to get to. So that'll be your first thing to check on. After you get to that point, RK, you're going to need to navigate to your portfolio inside of Coinbase, and then you will have the option actually inside of the portfolio to just flat out sell. RK, though, if you do want to see it on screen, you can actually go. I have a Coinbase tutorial on the channel, and if you quickly go through it, it will show you me actually buying XRP and selling XRP just during the tutorial, RK. I'm not ready today during the stream, but on Friday, I could definitely have Coinbase pulled up and I could actually just show you and show everyone in the community live on Friday the process of selling some XRP on Coinbase, and then what you would need to do in order to transfer it to a bank account. And so RK, welcome. And don't worry, it can be confusing on the first go, but we'll get you set up and rolling. Good morning, Crazy Chester. Good morning, Trish. Got your sunglasses. I'm glad. You're going to need them. Tina, Tino, and Tommy are doing very well. They were a little freaked out by the change because I did move. This place is much smaller than where they were at. It's a pretty small little apartment, but they very much enjoy the new digs, and they very much enjoy the windows because they have a much better view here. They have much less space, but they have a lot more to look at. So they are enjoying it. That's for certain. What's up? Proud Ever American? Hey man, hope you're having an awesome one. Yep, no walls to paint over here. Good morning, Frank. Good morning. Yep, need a catwalk. Neil, howdy, sister, from 56-degree Graham, North Carolina. How's it going, Neil? It's starting to get a little chilly over there in North Kakalaki, isn't it? I heard that there was snowflakes in Charlotte recently. Snowflakes in Charlotte at the beginning of November? That's craziness. I don't know if that was just a fake news that I heard or whether that was true or not. That is Tommy. That's his spot. He doesn't leave. He does not leave. Good morning, Chris, coming at us from Virginia Beach. Oh, good morning. Let's crush it today. That makes me think of the orange crushes that you get at Virginia Beach, Chris. Those things taste too good. Good morning there, NM Hiker. Faith, family, freedom. Did you move or change the desk around? I have moved. And so it is a different location. Coming at you from a different IP address this morning. Yes. Very important one. The content in this podcast is for educational and entertainment purposes and not intended to provide financial advice. Please consult with a financial professional before making investment decisions. Thank you, Kukla, for making certain I get that one. And it's just in time because Franco asks, Zester, your thoughts on the XRP ETF tomorrow. I want to talk about that one, Frank. Let's go ahead and jump straight into our articles because this is a very exciting one because it's a little bit different than the first ETF that we saw come out just a month or so ago. This one is different. And so it is coming out a little bit faster than we actually expected because of the SEC's delays, but it's a very exciting one. And so the first XRP ETF on American soil, ? Canary takes the final step. Canary's XRP ETF is poised to become the first of its kind in the US after the firm filed its Form 8-A, the final step before the listing goes live as price shows signs of upside swing. Okay, this is an XRP spot ETF nearing a historic launch, and it may only be hours away from reality. According to Crypto in America journalist Eleanor Tourette, Canary Capital has officially filed its Form 8-A, marking the final regulatory step before the ETF becomes effective. Once the NASDAQ certifies the listing, which is expected by 5 p.m. Eastern Time today, Wednesday today, the stage will be set for the first ever XRP spot ETF to launch at market open on Thursday, aka tomorrow. And so this is extremely, extremely exciting. Now, why are they saying that it is the first? When we remember, we've already covered that there's another XRP ETF. The distinction here is that this is a spot ETF. And that means that this ETF is going to be buying XRP at spot price and holding XRP to back the entire portfolio. It's not a mixed or a hybridized ETF like the first one was, which had a variety of other quote unquote assets inside of the basket. This is just XRP. When people are going to be investing dollars into this Canary ETF, they will be essentially buying XRP with every dollar that flows in. That's what makes this one far, far more exciting, because this ETF should have far more of an upward price push. This one should actually be buying XRP on the open market at spot price as more money flows into it. And it looks as if it could go live, assuming everything today goes as planned. It will be going live for trading tomorrow morning with the open of the NASDAQ, the open of the New York Stock Exchange, I should say. And so that makes this an extremely, extremely exciting 24 hours for XRP. I will go ahead and say, though, just so everyone knows, the excitement over this is going to be very much dictated by how much volume flows into this ETF. And so it's not just that the ETF is being released, it's that how much money comes flowing in. Does this thing open up tomorrow and have $1 billion day? $1 billion flow into this ETF in a day? If something like that happens, well, go ahead, get your popcorn, pop open a bottle of wine, and sit there and enjoy watching the XRP price charts tomorrow, because they're going to be very, very, very exciting. And that, I think, it really is. It's going to be very much based off of how much money do we see flow in. That's what's really going to dictate how exciting tomorrow is going to be. But I personally am quite optimistic. Early indications appear that interest in this Canary Capital ETF is extremely high. And XRP's price seems to be kind of indicating that even before its launch, where it seems as if, despite the overall market struggling immensely, there are a lot of XRP holders that are very much trying to fill their bags up in preparation for this ETF announcement. And I say that on account of the overall chart for XRP in comparison to some of the other cryptocurrencies over the past week or so. And so that one is extremely exciting, Frank. I am pumped on that one, but we really are. We're going to have to see. We're going to have to see. And yes, when the NASDAQ ticker for this will be XRPC. It effectively confirms that the ETF is approved for launch, the final procedural step before investors can begin trading it on regulated exchanges. Now, if approved as expected, Canary Capital's XRP spot ETF will not only be the first of its kind in the United States, but could also serve as a gateway for similar filings from other asset managers. The move follows a wave of institutional interest in digital asset ETFs, especially after the approval and success of Bitcoin and spot ETFs earlier this year. Analysts predict that the launch of an XRP spot ETF could inject major liquidity into the market. Renowned for its speed and cross-border payment utility, XRP already ranks among the most adopted digital assets in enterprise blockchain. Now, they continue. And so this article, very, very interesting. Moreover, this development could strengthen Ripple's long-term positioning in the evolving financial ecosystem with XRP's alignment to ISO 20022, the global standard for financial messaging. The asset is strategically placed to serve as a bridge between traditional finance and digital assets. Remember what we already talked about. This ISO 20022 is set to go live on November 22nd. And so these timelines are coming together extremely well for a very, 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 very exciting XRP Christmas. And remember, we have 5 other ETFs that are all set to be rolling out by the end of the year. They were all going to be coming at the end of October. Government shutdown, SEC pushed all of those approval deadlines, yada, yada, yada. They're all set, though, to be approved before the end of the year, with everything coming together as it is. Canary Capital Spot ETF, fingers crossed, going live tomorrow. The ISO move coming on the 22nd of November. And then the rest of the ETFs flowing in after that or around that date. There's a lot to be excited about. I wish I had infinitely more XRP than I do at the moment. Unfortunately, there's not going to be any extra purchases of XRP coming from Zester at this point in time, but I definitely wish that I could, because we really are set up for a very exciting month and a half. Where we end up in terms of a price prediction, guys, I have no idea. Most analysts' belief is that if $10 billion flows into these ETFs of positive inflows, purchases into these spot ETF, XRP spot ETFs, we could see a price around $10 in XRP as fast as by the end of the year. That is not my prediction, but that is what many of the analysts have been throwing around, is that essentially we need $10 billion to flow in to these spot ETFs, and we could see a 3x or more on the price of XRP as it is. So very exciting. Don't know where that number is going to go, but I'm glad that you went ahead and asked that one, Frank, because that was really probably the most exciting news of the day that I had to cover, was definitely around that one, because that's what I know everyone's going to be watching. All right. Trish Rosa, glad to find you here. I'm with Barbara. My journey wrapping my head around all of it. Well, you're in the perfect place, Trish. Welcome. All right. Catching up, guys. Sorry if I miss any. Musical Lady Zester, your thoughts on AG committee released crypto market structure to give CFTC primary authority over trading, ending the years-long turf war with the SEC. Yes, Musical Lady. This is another one that's interesting. I think I have an article for that one pulled up and ready somewhere, but really the TLDR, or the short and dirty on that one, what's most exciting, Musical Lady, and this is something we've talked about before, is that the CFTC, Commodities and Futures Trading Commission, is the one that's getting oversight over these different cryptos. And that's a very, very important distinction that's been being argued for a long time, is that cryptocurrencies are not inherently securities. When I use this term securities, I mean it in the financial sense. They're not inherently a security. The SEC had been forever arguing that every crypto is inherently a security immediately. And they had been fighting tooth or nail over that one. This decision coming out of the Ag Committee, of course, this still needs to go forth. We still don't know what this is going to look like when it's actually written into law, but it's very reassuring to see that it seems as if the Senate is listening to the crypto industry and is honestly listening to the economists. It's never been logical to argue that every cryptocurrency is inherently a security. It doesn't make sense. It clicks far more of the boxes for a commodity. And so, yes, Musical Lady, that one was, but we don't have it yet. We don't have it yet, but it was very exciting to hear where their thought process is because they're heading in the right direction. Pete Rose, after the 22nd, how much will XRP increase? Pete Rose, I don't necessarily think that the ISO standard changing is honestly an upward incentive for XRP in and of itself. I really think what it's going to be a major advantage of it is going to be as we look into the long term. Pete, I don't know if we're going to see an increase on the 22nd on account of it. I think we're far more likely to see these overall increases on account of bank partnerships and the amount of money flowing into the ETFs. I'm very excited for the 22nd, Pete, because it's really going to mark a fairly important shift. It's going to change the conversation on ISO entirely into one that is very much hypothetical into a very, very grounded real world conversation. But, and this is something that I highly, highly, highly expect, I think that you're going to see a variety of other cryptocurrencies press a button and begin adhering to ISO messaging standards, because it is a messaging standard. And so XRP itself, XRP, the cryptocurrency, is not an ISO. Ripple's ledger is ISO compliant. And I think that's where we're going to end up getting into a lot of nuanced conversations, I think, following the 22nd, Pete. But I'm very excited. And I think that it's going to most definitely what it's going to do, Pete, is it's going to draw the eyes of everyone onto the ISO tokens, because it's going to dominate the news cycle. And we're going to suddenly have all eyes focused on the XDCs, the sellers, the XRPs, the Hedera hash graphs, etc. And I think that all of that further attention, that may increase the price quite substantially. What's up, Pete? Yes, Faith family, I can definitely put up more cat swings. I'm planning on it. I am. Seems we're witnessing a lot of manipulation, says Reno Hightower. Reno, we have definitely had a lot of manipulation, and I guess you can argue that it's manipulation or profit taking, but we have had a massive amount of money moving through these different ETFs in terms of outflows, and it is suspicious, Reno, to say the least, because primarily the market seems to be being driven at the moment by institutional money moving. Very much ETFs, the BlackRocks and such of the world. In my opinion, what they're doing is they have intentionally caused a little bit of a price shock because, well, they're stocking up for the future. But that's just my 2 cents on what I think they're busy doing. Franco, I'm so ready for XRP and the RV. Absolutely, Frank. I'm right there with you. Patricia, did you move further from Dad? No, a few more minutes, maybe a few more minutes. Rather than being 2 or 3 minutes away, I'm a few more, but not far at all. Not far at all. All right. All right. Musical Lady, I heard a target date of November 17th of most XRP ETFs being approved. Musical Lady, the current date essentially of possibility starts in the week of November 17th, and it extends all the way through the first week of December currently. And so we could see them as early as then, or we could see them push to the first weeks of December. As of the last update I got on that one, is that essentially the SEC can either get their work done sooner or they can try to wait out the clock. Okay, Patty Perry, is there a difference between XRP and the XRP ETF? Patty, there is. And it's a very important distinction, essentially. And there's also more nuance to it. And so in this situation, Patty, this Canary Capital ETF is a spot ETF. And so that means that this ETF is going to physically hold or purchase XRP at spot price. Other ETFs or exchange traded funds, for anyone curious, I always try to mix up those different acronyms. It gets so easy to just use the 3 or 4 letters or whatever. But getting back on track on that one. The distinction here, Patty, is essentially if you are participating in this XRP ETF, you are purchasing XRP, but they are holding it for you. You are purchasing XRP on the stock exchange. That ETF holds XRP. And so you are buying exposure to XRP, but you are not the self-custodian of that XRP. Not natural. You essentially have a ticket that says that you are the owner of a certain amount of the fund. And you are not in the same way. It's not the same idea as me going on to Coinbase, buying XRP, and sending it to my Ledger wallet. Now, there are a lot of major advantages, though, to exchange traded funds and to this ETF because it opens up a lot of money that cannot be used for things like buying XRP on Coinbase. There are retirement funds, there are pension funds, there are all kinds of different massive amounts of money out there that have not been able to participate in cryptocurrency essentially at all. This allows them to participate, to gain exposure to the price of different cryptocurrencies like XRP while still maintaining their current status. And so, yes, this one is a little more similar than other ones because they're actually holding XRP in the ETF, but it is different because you're not actually the one holding it. Kevin Setter, Zester, your thoughts, please. Does XRP destroy the matrix life we currently live in? Kevin, we're getting deep on that one in terms of everything going on in the world. I think that not even XRP itself, but blockchain technology itself is currently busy trying to destroy the matrix. That is essentially what I believe is busy doing it. It's not necessarily XRP, it's blockchain technology. Because blockchain technology is going to very much reveal the truth. It's going to reveal the truth of our financial system. It's going to reveal the truth of our data and information. It's going to reveal the truth of the different systems that we have trusted our society and cultures with. Blockchain technology is going to pull back the robe, the Wizard of Oz type deal. It's going to pull back the curtain. And so, Kevin, I very much believe that blockchain technology as a whole, as an innovation, it is currently busy tearing down the facade, the lies that we were all fed and really taught to believe. All right. That was a good one. Crazy Chester, I am on the moon and there is nowhere to get a beer. There is no space bar. I'll have to say, Crazy Chester, you take the title on dad jokes this morning because I think Gary must be busy. You got it this morning. Rick Caleb, help. Ledger is telling me I need 250 XRP to open a Ledger account. Sounds fishy to me. Rick, absolutely. That is not true. And so wherever you are at, get out of there. That is a scam of some form or fashion. The most that you ever need to activate an XRP wallet is one XRP. One XRP is all that is necessary to activate an XRP wallet. And so, Rick, whatever is trying to convince you on that one, definitely get away. Hide. All right. Hey, yeah. This whole government shutdown, in my opinion, is about the corporation going bye-bye and bringing the Constitution back in place. Sound money, gold back, stablecoin. It has created a lot of the right factors for it, Frank. Absolutely. And it fast-tracked a lot of Trump's efforts in terms of cleaning out the government because essentially they fell into a trap. They made it very easy for Trump to go ahead and start clearing out a lot of the cancer inside of the government. Crazy Chester. Chester. Oh, you got it from Amazon, Rick. Lots of stories of hacked devices. Yes, there is a worry on that one, Rick. Whenever you buy them from Amazon or something like that, you don't know if they've been tampered with. You don't know if somebody set it up. But Rick, I'm very curious, where are you receiving this message from? Where are they telling you you need 250 XRP? Is it inside a Ledger Live? Is somebody messaging you? Is someone calling you? How are you getting told you need 250 XRP to open up an XRP wallet on Ledger? But I'll say right away, I always get scared when I hear about a hardware wallet being bought from anywhere but the company selling it, and it needs to arrive with tamper-proof tape and everything on it, and also then be tested in the device to ensure that it hasn't had any funny business. I always get a little worried there, Rick. There have been some people that have bought from Amazon and not had any problem at all, but there have been others that have bought from Amazon, eBay, etc. And well, they had already installed funny business onto the hardware wallet. But yes, I'm very curious. I'm very curious, Rick. Where are you getting this message on this one? Where is this message being sent to you? Because that might be able to help me figure out why. Kevin said, or Zester, it only makes sense that ISO is implemented before RV, zero manipulation and instantaneous settlement globally. Kevin, I think that in a large way, and I know this is something that, for lots of folks, we've been waiting a long time, but I think, in all honesty, Kevin, we are watching a new financial system come into effect, and we've been watching it for the past year or so in turbo speed coming into effect. Because the more that I look around, the more I see everything necessary, everything that we were told about how the system would work, all of the necessary tools are literally being implemented one at a time to make it a reality. I'm very, 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 very optimistic on all of it, that I'm getting to see so much of this go on right in plain daylight. So much of this process is no longer going on in shady back rooms. It's going on in Senate hearings. It's going on national news. It's going on in plain day on Main Street, not on back streets. And in my opinion, that is a very, very good indication that that things are moving in the right direction. Kukla, no whiskey and wisdom tonight. Yes, indeed. No whiskey and wisdom this evening. Not at all. I don't know whether Pops is very excited. Pops is going to be hanging out with family this evening, and I will be as well. It's been way too long. Exchange traded funds, Patricia, is an ETF, and there is a lot of nuance here. There are spot ETFs. There are all kinds of different ones. The best way of really just kind of easy way, whenever you hear about ETF, think about institutional money. Think about major financial systems, pension funds, retirements, IRAs, Roth, all of that. Think about that. Think about the stock market. It's kind of simpler, I suppose, that way, because there's a lot of nuance between the different ETFs, Patricia. And once you get into that part, it gets very, very, very complicated. RK, well, I'm glad I was not able to sell XRP with all this good news. RK, it's one of those things where you never know them. You never know whether all the good news in the world is going to result in the price going up in the time that you want it to or not. You really don't. And that's one of the crazy things. And, very often you'll see in the world of crypto, you will see folks buying the rumor and selling the news. Barbara McGee, where should I buy XRP? Can my financial advisor buy XRP with my IRA? Now, Barbara, here you go. This is where those ETFs are so important. Barbara, you can talk to your financial advisor about having some portion of your IRA be going into something like the Canary Capital exchange traded ETF. And so that is one of the this is the perfect example of really making that distinction. You can go buy XRP on Coinbase, Barbara. That was highly where I would recommend. I would recommend you set up a Coinbase account. Coinbase is not perfect, but it's easy. The fees are low. It works. It's publicly traded company. I recommend Coinbase for you personally going out there and getting your XRP. But you can use whichever exchange you feel most comfortable with. I just recommend Coinbase. And then you can also talk to your financial advisor about these new offerings in terms of the ETFs. And so, Barbara, that is a great question. You are starting off with some banger questions, Barbara. Get real. Good morning. Being new to all of this, how much XRP should a person hold? Oh, get real. It really comes down to everyone's overall goals and ability. I know people who hold hundreds of thousands of XRP, and I know people who might have 100 total XRP. Really, when it comes down to it, get real. It's very much a personal one on that one. And I very much a personal one on that one. Get real. I know me personally, I set goals for certain numbers. You know, my goals were I'm going to have 100. I'm going to have 500. I'm going to have 1,000. I'm going to go for 2,000. That's how I went about it. But I've been buying XRP since 2017. And so that really changes that entire, thought process. I never had the money to go in and buy a lot. What I had was time to buy a little over time. Dollar cost averaging. So I've bought XRP at 10 cents and I've bought XRP at $2. I have essentially bought it pretty much at every different price that it's been at in the time that I've been following it. But welcome, get real, and definitely set yourself goals and understand it is a long-term. It is absolutely a long-term perspective. Everything in crypto, and I think anything, whenever you are planning towards the future, you need to remember that the future is the future. And that means that you do not know when you're going to get to harvest, essentially. And so definitely always be very, very, very mindful of not putting money into anything that you can't afford to lose, or that if at the bare minimum you can't afford to be without. But welcome, Get Real. Thank you so much for joining us. All right. Zester, triumphant 2024. Zester, we bought a crypto other than what we already had and have been unable to get it off Coinbase to our cold hardware wallet. We tried to reach out to Coinbase at Ledger without success. Thoughts? Triumphant, which crypto did you buy? Because the reason here, most likely, Triumphant, is that you need to actually download the app for that blockchain onto your Ledger. And then you'll be able to send from Coinbase to your account. And so remember, with your Ledger, my Ledger and y'all's ledgers will probably be the same. My Ledger has an Ethereum account. It has a Bitcoin account. It has a XRP account. It has a Stellar account. It has a Hedera Hashgraph account. It has an XDC account. All of these are separate wallets. If I try to send a crypto that's on a different blockchain to one of those wallets, it's just not going to work. And so Triumphant, which crypto is it? And I bet I can help you. I bet I can help you on that one. All right. Neil Brooks, talking to Zets, I have most of my cryptos, Ledger Nano X, and Uphold and Coinbase delists. How can I cash out? Neil Brooks, that is a great question. And that is absolutely one of those situations where you are benefited from having more centralized exchange accounts. And so, like, if you have the Gemini card, Neil, like if you set up your Gemini card for XRP, now, if you have that card, you could then actually cash out to your Gemini account. And so that is one of those tough ones, Neil. Another way of getting around this, though, Neil, is to, say Coinbase delists Frog. Well, I'm making up a name, just for the example. So say Coinbase delists Frog. You can't sell Frog on Coinbase to get cash. What you do, Neil, is you go over to an exchange that you can trade Frog on. You trade Frog for USDC or Tether, and then you send Tether to Coinbase, and bada bing, bada boom, you got your money. And so, Neil, if you ever do have a delisted asset on a centralized exchange, the easiest way is to just swap that crypto for a cryptocurrency that they do allow on the exchange. And that way you're not going to lose anything. You're going to have essentially your only loss will be one extra trading fee. The other way, Neil, is to look for other centralized exchanges that will let you, but I highly recommend going with the easier route of just saying, oh, I'm going to swap it to something else. And then I'm going to send it to Coinbase, and Coinbase is going to be happy as a clam. All right. Hopefully I don't miss any. Sorry. Triumphant H-bar, and we did download the app on the Ledger. Well, actually, this is Triumphant. This one worked out well because let me get over there 1 second. I'm going over to the channel videos. All right, because this one is hard, Triumphant, and so I know why you're having trouble. But right here, Triumphant, how to crypto tutorial for storing your H-bar on your Ledger wallet, 21-minute video. It was a pain in the butt. Please, on this one, guys, and on this one, Triumphant, on this for everybody. Whenever you are doing something like what Triumphant is doing and moving over crypto to a wallet for a first time, send test transactions. Send test transactions. This should become a just clockwork. If you're going to send crypto anywhere, what you do is you send one first. You send one. That way, if you messed anything up, if you got an address wrong, got a number wrong, anything like that, all you're going to risk losing is one. Make certain to do that. So in this case, Triumphant, follow the video, get your Hedera set up. I just linked that video in the chat, and so you should be able to click on that one. But if not, you can go over Crazy Cryptonaut in the videos, and you can grab it. But first things first, watch the video, get it set up, and send one H-bar. If it works and it shows up in your Ledger wallet, there you go. You've set it up right. You're good to go. But definitely, guys, everybody out there, I noticed, I think Trish said, I have an account with XRP, XLM, Quant, Algo, HBAR, IOTA, ADA, Doge. I'm stuck on putting it into a Ledger. Hey, no worries, Trish. It's the same thing here, though. Always. We send test transactions. In crypto, you really have no reason not to. It's so cheap to send a transaction. It might cost you a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of a penny. And so just do it. Don't even overthink it. Send a test transaction, have it pop up, and then you can move forward comfortably. After 8-9 years now, I don't even know how long it's been, I still send test transactions. It will save your life if you do it. You'll save your crypto financial life if you get into the habit of sending tests. Whenever you're doing anything new, even if you're doing something you've done before, send a test transaction. Franco, Zester, I truly believe this all goes at the same time. One will give the other away. Frank, hey, I'm kind of one where I guess I'm a little bit of a domino type belief on it. Essentially, I guess it's true. It's all happening at the same time. But I very much, I kind of think about it, or have always envisioned it as a bit of a domino. All right. Hi, Zester. Chloe, can you explain what staking means to me as an investor? Well, actually, that's a great question, Chloe. Now, we've talked a little bit about different types of staking on the channel in the past, but essentially, Chloe, what you need to know here is that staking is a little bit of a general term. And so, Chloe, there are a variety of different ways in crypto that you can, quote unquote, stake. Now, the most famous of all is proof of staking. And so this would be like Ethereum or Solana or Polkadot. And so, Chloe, what you're doing in that situation, and so placing this example on you, you are participating in Ethereum staking. You own Ethereum. What you are doing is you're putting your Ethereum into a smart contract in order to validate and run the Ethereum blockchain. You are being compensated with Ethereum for doing so. While you are doing this staking, you do not have access to your Ethereum. Your Ethereum is still yours. You will get back however much Ethereum you put in, and you will get an interest on top of that. And so you are being rewarded for facilitating or running the blockchain. You are providing a service by staking your Ethereum. That would be a proof of stake blockchain. Now, Chloe, this is where things get a little more complicated because people use the word staking for a lot of different things. And that's why it's very important to do your research whenever you're entering into a staking platform or a staking protocol, because other staking is different. Other staking, and it really should be a different term, should probably be used, but in the world of crypto, staking has become a very, very spider term. It's being used for a lot of different things. You could be, say, providing liquidity. And so you're providing crypto to a liquidity pool, and you're being compensated in crypto for having provided that service. And so, Chloe, the short and dirty answer is that whenever you are staking, you are providing liquidity, you're providing crypto in order to facilitate something that is going on. They're using your crypto for something. Now, in the situation like Ethereum, there is no risk in that because the worst case scenario is you get your same amount of Ethereum back, assuming you have not been scammed or tricked or something of that nature. If it's legitimate Ethereum staking, if you put one Ethereum in, you're going to get one Ethereum out, and you're going to earn an interest on it. Now, if you are, say, staking it somewhere else, or you're providing liquidity or providing loans, these could have more of a risk associated with them. And so, easy answer is that, Trish, you are being compensated for providing services similar to what banks do. And so you all know, everybody out there is aware that the banks take your money and they use your money to make more money. That's how banks work. They're using your dollars. It's your money, but they're using it and they're taking the return. With staking and with crypto, you are essentially providing banking services, and you are being compensated in the same way that a bank would be being compensated for providing that financial service, whatever that service may be. It could be providing liquidity. It could be validating the blockchain. It could be providing loans. It could be doing all kinds of different things. But needless to say, your money in the form of crypto is being used in some way to generate, hopefully, a profit. All right. Hey, thank you. Oh, awesome. I am happy to have you help on that one, triumphant. And yes, definitely test. That way, worst case scenario, you lost one H bar. And if you lose one H bar, it sucks because it's going to be worth more in the future, I think. But it's not the end of the world. And so definitely go about it that way. You'll be feeling much better. All right. Linda Rule. I sent $2 of XRP to my to my decent wallet, and it cost $4.22 to send it. Did I goof? It was received. Linda, I'm very where did you send it from? Linda? because that's the only thing that I can imagine that could have caused that, is that you sent it from, say, a centralized exchange, and maybe they charged you a fee, or the gas got set odd. That's very weird, Linda. Very, very weird. I will say, though, I do not use Decent Wallet, and so there could also be something going on there in regards to Decent Wallet, because $2 of XRP costing $4.22 to send it is very, very odd, Miss Linda. Very, very odd. Could it have been? Could it have been maybe that the numbers are mixed up and that you sent 2 XRP to your Decent Wallet? And that's where the 2 number is coming from. Very, very odd, Linda. I am not certain on that one. I would have to do some looking. Luckily, if it is a goof, it's not a big goof, but it's definitely weird, Linda. That one is very, very weird, because it should not cost more than a very small amount. But wait a second, Linda. Was that the first XRP in your Decent Wallet? Was it the first XRP in your Decent Wallet? Because remember, 1 XRP is required to activate an XRP wallet. That may be what happened. Essentially, you ended up in a very odd situation because you did not have a single XRP in that Decent Wallet yet. And so you needed 1 XRP to actually open a wallet. And that might be it. That might be it, might not. Crazy Chester, though. Midnight Scavenger Hunt is twitchy this morning. Crazy Chester. And so an update on that one. And then looking at the time, I'm probably going to go running off after an update on Midnight. But Midnight Scavenger Mining. Linda rolled first time. All right, Linda, I think we've got it. I think we got that one figured out then, Linda. I'm pretty certain that's exactly what happened, is that essentially you had a very odd situation occur because you sent a very small amount of XRP. And what it did was it needed your XRP to open the wallet. I think that might be it, Linda. I'm not 100%, but that would make a little more sense about why an oddity occurred there. But all right, guys, Midnight Glacier Drop Scavenger Mine. This one is, guys, over this past week or so, my biggest issue, and the reason that I was not live on Friday or live on Monday, the reason that I'm so behind on everything work related, is because I was having massive internet problems at the new place. That internet problem was that I have insanely fast internet here, but every couple of minutes, it drops signal, and your computer then has to reacquire the Wi-Fi signal. That resulted in anything I tried to do would stop for 10 seconds, and it wouldn't restart. And so I got screwed on being able to do a lot of work, and also on this. Now, I have since gotten this fixed. I put on my my contractor hat, and I jumped out and I installed a physical hardware line, physical hard line to my computer, and that's why we have this stream going this morning. I was busy climbing on a roof with a ladder yesterday so that we could be live, but that meant that I have missed a ton of these midnight opportunities. And so I am at estimated claim of 514.99 night on my Brave browser. And I am at 419 estimated on my Chrome browser, because I missed a ton over the past week during all of my struggles, because every time I would start the session, I would never actually be online long enough to finish the answer. And so I literally would have had to have been there clicking the button over and over and over again. And I was busy trying to get the internet fixed. So for those that have been on your midnight, I hope y'all are beating me now in terms of the amount of midnight that you have earned, because hopefully y'all have not had near as many drops. We still have 7 days. There's still over a week of this to go. That leaves, so current challenge is 330. That means there's still 174 challenges yet to be answered. We are seeing more higher difficulty challenges come out, but it's not all of them. Look right here. We're looking at a very easy right here on challenge 330. And so I hope that everyone has been having a lot of success with theirs. I have gotten reports that a lot of folks have been having different little issues with it, especially if it resets. And so I do want to make certain that folks are aware on that one. You need to remember which wallet you connected that first time when you chose a destination address whenever you're going back through and you're trying to reset it. And so on this one, very curious to hear how everyone has been doing. Very, very, very curious on that one. I am definitely behind. It's a bit of a bummer for my goals for the Crypto Zero to Retirement Challenge because I'm kind of losing out. I was really hoping midnight was going to get me quite a boost. And hopefully it still does. But I'm not going to have as many midnight as I hoped for on account of this move and all of it. But I hope that everyone else out there has been having good success. Some other tips that I can throw out there. One, if you have the ability, run a wired connection to your computer. And so that means running something like this. Running this from your router to your desktop or to your laptop. Physical hardline, that will help with you having drops or having any that you miss. And also making certain that you remember which wallet you connected to when you did connect so that if you do have to go back through and reset, you can reset to the correct wallet. Otherwise, guys, it seems like most folks have been having pretty good success. Some different issues, mainly around certain browsers. Avoid Mozilla Firefox. It's not worth it. Microsoft Edge, Brave, and Chrome seem to be the ones that kick butt. Those three browsers, for everyone that's doing the midnight scavenger mine, they are definitely the winners at this point in time. And so, hey, have a great one as well, Kukla. Have a blessed day. Get real. Where should we buy our hardware wallet? Get real. I highly recommend, if you check out in my description, I've got a link tree to Ledger hardware wallets. You will get free Bitcoin for buying and using the link. And I will get some free Bitcoin for you buying and using that link. If you don't use the link, you don't get free Bitcoin. So it's really a great program. And it ensures that you buy your hardware wallet from the factory. And that's the really important part. I highly recommend, it doesn't matter which hardware wallet you want. If you're going to use a Trezor, a Ledger, I'm not going to argue which, over it. But what I do recommend is you make certain you buy it from the factory. No matter which hardware wallet you choose, buy it from the factory. Check it and make certain that it wasn't tampered with. Ledger is the biggest brand, though, on the planet. And they've got some deals going right now. And so get real. You can check that one out in the description. It's always a great, great option. All right. Michael, Zester, is this your trading site on Telegram? Michael, I do not have a trading site on Telegram. Michael, what I do have is that there is, in the Voices of Freedom room, there is a Crazy Cryptonaut space for crypto conversations and everything of that nature, but there is not a Crazy Cryptonaut Telegram room. And so thank you so much, Trish. Trish just posted the link to the Voices of Freedom room. Michael, that would be the room where you can talk and everything else. Remember, guys, I do not direct message people. I do not make recommendations of things for people to invest in. I don't. I'm not a financial advisor, and I do not try to convince people to buy anything. I am here to teach you about how it works. You make your own decisions about what you do with that knowledge. But otherwise, if you get a message from someone trying to say that they're Zester, saying that there's some kind of investment opportunity, it is not me, and it never will be me. Sorry, it won't ever be me. I'm never going to risk that. I don't ever want to make it even more confusing for folks out there. So please be very, very careful out there. That one is definitely the right room. Michael, you have an imposter over there. Exactly, Michael. Be very, very careful out there. Be very, very careful. I do not direct message. Hey, look at Tommy. Tommy, you're still half asleep right there, Mr. Tommy. Yes, guys, please be very, 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 very. This other Telegram room, it's not. I never had a Telegram room, guys, so I can't delete it. I can't do anything about it. It's all fake. They made an entirely fake room. I can't do anything to make it go away. It has been reported. I reported it. Trish reported it. Bunches of people have reported it. It's on Telegram to fix. But just as a heads up all around, guys, I never send direct messages. I never send out investment opportunities or anything of that nature. I don't need to convince people to buy crypto. The financial system is going to force everybody into owning crypto. And so it really is not anything that I'm a part of. So please, guys, be very, 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 very safe and careful out there. When in doubt, come into the room and ask questions. Go to the Voices of Freedom room and ask, hey, I'm talking to some guy who says he's Zester. Come in and ask it publicly. And you will very, very quickly get help on that one. Very, very quickly. And so, all right. Looking at the time, we are pushing past our time slot. Love you guys. Thank you so much for joining. I will be back again on Friday at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hopefully with a little less brightness coming from the window behind me. Hopefully I can figure out in the camera settings how to get that one looking a bit better, because I know if I actually, come over and get closer, it starts to improve a lot. And so I'm very excited to get it fixed so that folks can enjoy the background over here. But all right, guys, thank you so much. And I'll see y'all on Friday. Peace.